The box arrived on a rainy Thursday afternoon, wrapped in brown paper and tied with an old, frayed string. There was no return address, only Ava's name scrawled across the top in shaky, uneven letters. At first, she assumed it was a mistake. She hadn't ordered anything, and there was no note inside, just a small, black box with strange carvings etched into its surface. Symbols she didn't recognize, twisting and curling like roots spreading out in every direction. Alongside the box was a single slip of paper with 5 words written in crimson ink: "Do not look inside." Ava's roommate, MIA, was less concerned. "It's probably some elaborate prank," she said, turning the box over in her hands. "Maybe from someone at work." Ava shook her head. "No one would send me this. Look at it. It's creepy." And it was. The box seemed to hum faintly, almost like a vibration in the air. "You're overthinking," MIA said with a grin. "It's just a box," but Ava wasn't so sure. Something about it felt wrong, like it didn't belong here. The air seemed heavier since it arrived, and the shadows in the room grew longer, darker. That night, Ava couldn't sleep. The box sat on the kitchen table, its dark surface catching the faint moonlight. It almost looked like it was breathing, expanding and contracting with each flicker of light. She tried to shake the thought from her mind, but the warning played over and over in her head: "Do not look inside." By 3 a.m., curiosity had clawed its way into her thoughts. Ava found herself standing in the kitchen, staring at the box. Her hands trembled as she reached for it, the carvings cold and sharp under her fingers. "What's the worst that could happen?" she whispered to herself, heart pounding. The moment she lifted the lid, a cold wind rushed through the room, extinguishing every light. The darkness wasn't normal. It was thick, oppressive, like a living thing pressing against her chest. Ava gasped, dropping the lid, but it was too late. Inside the box was nothing. Just an empty void that seemed to stretch forever. But as she stared, something moved. A shadow, too black to be real, slithered across the void and pressed itself against the edge of the box. And then it spoke. "You shouldn't have looked." The next morning, MIA found Ava sitting at the table, staring blankly at the box. "Did you open it?" MIA asked, half joking. Ava turned to her slowly. Her eyes were hollow, empty, like something had been taken from her. "MIA," Ava whispered, her voice barely audible. "It's not empty." MIA frowned and reached for the box, but Ava's hand shot out to stop her. "Don't," she snapped. "It's awake now." Over the next few days, strange things started happening. The lights flickered constantly, and the apartment grew unnaturally cold, no matter how high they turned up the heat. At night, Ava heard whispers, soft, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to come from the box. MIA thought it was all in Ava's head. "You're just freaked out," she said. "Let me see the box." But Ava refused, clutching it to her chest. "It's watching us," she said, her voice trembling. "It knows." One night, MIA woke up to find Ava standing in the living room, holding the box. "What are you doing?" MIA asked, her voice groggy. Ava didn't answer. She was staring into the open box, her face pale and expressionless. "Ava," MIA shouted, running to her. She slammed the lid shut, and for a moment, the whispers stopped. But Ava didn't move. She turned to MIA slowly, her eyes black as night, and smiled. "It's too late," she said in a voice that wasn't hers. "You've seen it now." The lights in the apartment exploded, plunging them into darkness. The next morning, the apartment was empty. Ava and MIA were gone, but the box remained, sitting neatly on the kitchen table. Later that week, the landlord found it while cleaning out the apartment. Curious, he lifted the lid. Inside was a single slip of paper, written in shaky, uneven letters: "Do not look inside." ever, but the landlord didn't listen.